Hey everybody, and welcome to the final module for Dropship CEO Advanced Monetization, where we're doing all these fun things with Amazon, selling physical products, and we've come quite a long way, done a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. You started with this thing called retail arbitrage, then did some research and figured out how to get your own product sourced for, 10%, 5% of what you'd even get at a retail store. And then now we are just cultivating those listings because the thing is that Lance and I, obviously, we do want you to sell on Amazon, but we don't want you to sell 500 different things. We don't want you to sell 1,000 different things. We want you to find a handful of things that you can manage and then grow those and do those, and lots of fun things that you're going to see here as far as running ads and getting your ranking boosted. And you know what the thing is too, if you have been having any difficulty with Amazon's interface, it's really awkward at first, but the thing that Lance and I have noticed is the more you use it, the more intuitive it becomes. And so we're going to see some of the advanced features that you might not have even heard about with Amazon. I didn't even know until recently that you could even run Amazon ads to your own products. So we're going to do all that stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun today. How are things with you, Lance?
Things are going fantastic. And, I'm really glad that you mentioned the whole thing about what we're hoping for everybody is that they find a product or two. Sorry, I still got this throat thing going on that they can focus on, cultivate, and build off of basically what we did in last module, which was optimizing that listing. And there was a reason why we went and did all of that. And, you know, while you can just do the scanning and the retail arbitrage and make a really good income, and we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a little while, the truth is that it's fun and you have to be able to enjoy that, but it takes a lot more time. You have to be able to go out to a store, find products, scan products, box them up, ship them in, and while they do sell, it's a lot more work. And a lot of people, like I said, make full-time livings just doing that one piece. And Robert, both of us sort of have goals to sort of build up that retail arbitrage side of what we've been doing here in Dropship CEO just for extra little income, and we enjoy doing that. I mentioned to you the other day that that's sort of become one of the things that me and my daughter do together. Last weekend we went out, had breakfast, went and bought a bunch of new stuff for her, and then went and hit golf balls. And that's sort of just been the thing that where we get time together alone. And what's amazing is how much and how fast this stuff sells. But while that's fun, again, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of effort. And so what we want is for you to figure out how to source your own product and then, like Robert said, cultivate that. And so what we did in the last module was sort of optimize that. Today we're going to show you how to use what we did in module 3 and start actually selling that product, move yourself up the rankings so that it becomes one of those products that just sells a couple a day on Amazon on autopilot for you. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look really quick about at where we're at, what we've done so far, and why that's important to what we're going to be doing today. We're going to talk about this thing called customer reviews, how to get them the correct way, and how to make sure you get them and still keep your account safe with Amazon. And we talked about this in module 1 about how important it is to protect your account, whether it's through messaging other people or making duplicate accounts. Anything that you think might be a problem, ask Amazon first. Very, very important that you protect that account. Then we're going to talk about Amazon promotion ads, how to set them up, but not only how to set them up and get sales and traffic, which you will, but how to then use those ads in order to increase your keyword ranking. So what we're looking at here is how to get reviews, how to start selling stuff immediately, and then how to make it so that you rise in the keyword searches so that when somebody searches for your main keyword that we picked out in the last module, that you actually get traffic for those and you start showing up at the top of those. And you can think about it just like Google, right? Everybody talks about how they want to get their website to the top of Google. Well, the same thing we want to do with Amazon. But luckily for us, while we don't have all of the tools that they have for Google, it's a lot easier if you have a good product, if you have good customer service, and if you know how to run these ads correctly to actually move yourself up the ranking pretty darn quick.
Cool. I'm excited about all this.
And then what we're going to do, yes, finish up with the challenge like we always do so that you can make sure that you know how to move forward and you got everything that you needed out of today's lesson. So, like we said, so far, everybody got their Seller Central account set up. If you haven't done that yet, make sure you go back to Module 1, get that account set up correctly. And the most important thing, and we've already here's the thing is that Amazon will shut you down if you do anything out of line. So if you're a seller, don't contact other sellers. If another seller contacts you, and in fact, I'm going to show you in my account where somebody did actually contact me and ask if they could bulk buy my products outside of Amazon, I had to report that to Amazon. So protect that account. And if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know if something's right, even chitter chattering back and forth between your selling accounts, if another seller contacts you on Amazon, you have to report it or you are risking your account. I mean, I can't say it any more black and white than we did in Module 1, and that I'm saying now is that Amazon has to protect and make sure there's not shady stuff going on. They monitor every email message that you send, that you receive, both to other buyers and both to buyers and to other sellers. And if you do that, they will get shut down. And if somebody does that to you, you have to report it or you risk getting shut down. Then what we did was we told you guys how to do this thing called retail arbitrage, how you go through and scan products at a low price with high Amazon selling ranking, get those shipped in, and start making money. And you know, the big thing that we want to remind you of on that is what you want to look for is a product that is selling, that has a selling rank of at least under 100,000, that you can sell it on Amazon for 3 times the price that you purchase it for, and it can easily fit in your hand, or you can hold it in your hand. And what that does is make sure it's packaged well, it isn't too heavy, and you aren't going to get killed on the weight when they ship it out. So if you follow those, then it'll be really easy to get those things sold. And I know, Robert, you were sending me, you know, over the last couple of days some pictures of stuff that you had gotten. And I think last night you went in and found like $100 worth of stuff that, you know, met all of the criteria. You said in about 10 minutes, in and out. And I mean, you've actually built up your inventory really, really big already. And you're also at the point where you're testing out different types of products, you're figuring it out, and you've got it down to a system now that just really does work just from going in there, and sort of you've got the eye now for what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just under about $1,000 worth of stuff that I've bought and sent in over the last couple of weeks. And I mean, yeah, I've tried different things, and I mean, stuff like diapers have been really well. That's been where I, buy for $4 and they'll sell for about $23. Certain kinds of water bottles, especially ones where they end up buying them really low, like a $2 or $3, end up selling for $14. And then and it's always like the branded stuff. So there are these like Elmo pasta, Cheerios branded cereal bowls. There's these Scrabble scorecards that are like really just really tiny, like like an iPhone kind of size, and they're $1 each, and they're selling for $10, and they're selling just as fast as they go in. And I mean, according to our rules, like we said, you got to find something that's about 3 times the selling price, and the way that it ends up working out is after all the fees, you end up doubling your money. So that's the thing, is if you go into one of these stores like your Big Lots, and I've been to a few around the area, I've been to different Walmarts, and some of the stores aren't very good, and you can probably figure out between 5 or 10 minutes just by going to this discount rack, as seen on TV kind of stuff. If you find something that's almost there but not quite, like almost 3 times the price, then you're getting somewhere. But I've been to some of these stores where I mean, nothing even works. So you do have to try a few stores. But I mean, like you said, I mean, you fill up a whole cart worth of stuff. What's that going to be? That's going to be $100, maybe $200 worth of stuff, which is fine if you do that every day. But even then, I mean, how long does it take to box up a whole cart worth of stuff? Does it take you like, I don't know, an hour, hour and a half? Print out all the labels, print out your packing slip. So that's a good income, but like you said, it is a lot of labor to put in there just because, well, you could double your money, and I mean, nothing's guaranteed there, but to have to go to the store every day and fill up a shopping cart of the same $100 of stuff every day kind of gets tedious, right?
Yeah, and one of the things too where I have absolutely been killing it is at Costco and Sam's Club when they clearance stuff. The other day we went in and there was those I don't know, there was like these olive oil pepper kit shaker things, and um, they were on clearance at Costco for $4, and they were selling on Amazon for $30. So I bought them all. There were these Lazy Susan spinning cheese crate things, and they had boxes and boxes of them. And they were selling on clearance at Costco for $7, and I think they're selling on Amazon for right around $30. Bought 2 boxes worth of them, and the thing about Big Lots that we've been doing as well is we went in and said, when do you get your shipments in and when do you put things on the sales rack? And oddly enough, they told us exactly when they get their shipment in and when they have their deadline to have all of their shipment out, which means that everything moves over to their sale racks, and they have to have it done by a certain time for every store. So we found out when that was so that we can be the first ones there, and now that's just part of our schedule with Grace. And yeah, the cool thing about Costco, a lot of people don't know that they actually do clearance. And if you walk down their aisles, here's how you know if something's on clearance at Costco. Everything will be priced a certain way except stuff that it ends in 98. If it ends in 98, like 98 cents at Costco, it's on clearance. And you know how you find that out? Costco people are really nice and they work there forever. When you walk in and show them your card, ask them, say, how do I know if something's on clearance and where is anything that is on clearance right now? And they'll tell you. That's how we found out about it. And now that is where we go and look. And they don't put it in a certain area, so you have to walk through the aisles to find it. They keep it in the area. But on the price tags, at least at ours, what they've told me, so I assume it's at all of them, they changed the price to 98. That means it's on clearance. So pretty cool little trick there. And one thing that I wanted to mention about this is that what I noticed was with stuff, especially the stuff that I bought at Costco, because I'm assuming that went on clearance at a lot and people were doing this, when I scanned it, it was like, I think one of the things I got, and we'll look at it, the selling rank was like 6,000, and and I was like, awesome, I'm going to get those. And there was no sellers when I scanned it, or very few sellers. And so I sent mine in and I put the price where it was at and where I needed it to be. And what happened was the next day, there was like all these people lowering the price, lowering the price, lowering the price. And my first inclination was, well, I'm gonna lower the price too. But then I started watching and I'm like, well, they're still selling. And you can tell because it says like how many are there. You can pull it up and look at all of the sellers. And I said, well, why would I cut into my profit? I'm just going to wait. It's a top seller anyway. Eventually, they're going to run out of stock. And guess what? They ran out of stock, and I sold mine at the price that I wanted to begin with, and everything works out. And I guess the moral of that story is if you're choosing things that are selling well, don't get caught in this whole idea that you got to be the lowest price. You don't. There's enough traffic there, and if you've been doing this, I mean, I sell at least one thing a day, if not two things a day, if not more things, depending on what I've got in there and where I'm priced at every single day. Amazon has the customer base. If you follow the sort of guidelines that we gave you in Module 1, you'll sell your products. But don't get desperate and eat out all of your profit margin because other people are lowering their price. Let them. It's still selling. You can still see that it's selling. and then get it there. And yeah, somebody's saying I bought things at a higher price that I wanted because the lower price was sold out. That's exactly what happens.
And the other thing too is, I mean, if your inventory is sitting in Amazon's warehouse, I think they only charge you what, like 10 cents every month or something, right?
Yeah, it's like a couple of cents, and I think they show you somewhere in there, and we can look at that on the Q&A call this weekend as well.
All right. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely it's not good if your stuff sits there for 6 months or a year, especially because at least with me, some of the things I sent in like the grocery items had expiration dates. But I mean, if you have to hold out for a month or two while other stuff sells, then no big deal. And the other thing before we move on is I noticed a couple of our members were like scared of going in and scanning stuff. And the first time I went in, it was kind of awkward, right? To go in and like take your phone out and like scan the barcode. But the thing is, I mean, after a couple of scans, I just started just like being real obvious about what I was doing. Because the thing is, I don't know. It's like if you're kind of being shady and kind of try to sneak it in, then it's going to look like you're shoplifting or something, right? But if you just take out your phone and you scan it, I've done this right in front of the employees. And the thing is, if any of the employees ask what you're doing, you're trying to find a good deal, right? I mean, that's the thing is they're in the whole point of their store is that you buy their stuff out. And I mean, it is kind of weird when you go to the register. And I think one time I brought like 30 pocket calculators, and the checkout person was just like, well, what are these for, like gift baskets? And I was just like, something like that. I mean, for all they know, you're a teacher and you're buying something like a calculator for every student in your class. Like, I mean, it's none of their business, why you're scanning, why you're buying all this stuff. And I just wanted to address that because I know some people were a little bit afraid of going into a store and scanning something. But I mean, the good thing too is that most people are doing the opposite of you, right? Most people are going to a store and scanning stuff and finding something cheaper on Amazon, but you're actually, bringing more business into this store.
And I mean, my attitude is kind of the opposite. I mean, ask them. I mean, they're in the business of selling. I want to know when their new products come in. I want to know when they get their shipments. I want to know when stuff is going to be on clearance. And do you have any really good deals right now? I'll buy them all.
Right.
And that way, I mean, they know. I mean, when we go in, we now go into we've got our sort of rounds that we do on a certain night of the week, and we know them now because they all work the same nights. We do too. They know what we're doing, and I mean, we're there because they told us that at this time, this is when everything's on clearance and you can get the most volume. So we go there on that time and wave to them, load up our carts, and walk out. I mean, pretty simple stuff. So then what we did in module 2 was we talked about how to find your own product in order to source. So we showed you how to go through the bestseller list in different categories. We told you how to look it up and find a manufacturer that can produce those for you, brand those for you, get them all done really, really cheap, and even send them into Amazon for you if that's what you want. And then we created our initial listing, and we got our shipping information so that we could give that information to the people that were sourcing our products and get that sent in. And again, I mean, if it seems a little bit scary, I mean, it's really not. I mean, try it. You're not under any obligation to purchase anything if you contact a manufacturer and ask them the questions that we told you to ask them, that we laid out for you inside of module 2. You're going to find out it's really, really simple. If you want or you're feeling uncomfortable, my advice is don't buy from anybody you feel uncomfortable buying from. Another thing that you can do, that we talked about, is ask them for a test run, that you want to see what 10 of them look like, to have them send you a couple of samples. What can you do with those samples? Well, you can sell them and see if they actually sell. You can see what the quality of them is, and then if you like it, now you know they can deliver the product. Now you know they can make it. You can make your big order from them. And then what we did last module, in module 3, was we talked about how to do that keyword research. And I hope all of you guys went out and did that keyword research, because it's going to play a really big role in what we're going to do today, where you basically go to Amazon, use their Amazon suggestions to find out what people are actually looking for around your keywords, to find a main keyword, then go to Google and do a little bit of keyword research with their AdWords tool, put those all in a spreadsheet, and I'm going to show you some really cool stuff that we can do with that stuff today. then what we did was we optimized our listing, right? We went through and we filled in all of the product feature section. We filled out the descriptions. We even gave you guys a template to go and fill out so that you have kind of a headline, you have kind of a sales pitch. It gives your people all of the information that they need so that your product stands out. We also told you how to get your photos taken care of. We went to Fiverr. Remember, you just take out your product picture on a white normal sheet of paper. It's going to look a little bit yellowy and kind of not what all of the other ones look like, but it'll work in the short term. And then what you do is you go to Fiverr, you get your picture sent in and have them fix it all up. We went ahead and did that live on the call. Our picture came back. It looks great. And you get that listing optimized. Once you've got all of this stuff done, now we can use that optimized listing. We can use that keyword research in order to really start driving some traffic and monetizing this stuff out. And so the way that we're going to do that is we're going to start by talking about these things called customer reviews, your customer service, and the product reviews. And so here's the thing, and again, I can't stress this to you enough, that Amazon tracks everything that you do with your account, and especially with your customer service. If you send something out that isn't what the customer wanted, Amazon starts looking at your account, especially if you've got a new account. Because remember, what we're doing is we are actually borrowing their traffic, Amazon's traffic. We're borrowing their customers, Amazon's customers, and they really do look at it that way. These are not your customers. Even if they buy from you, they are still not your customers. They are Amazon's customers purchasing a product that you sell on their site. Basically, you're an affiliate on Amazon's site for your own product, if you can wrap your head around that. So they loan you the traffic, they give you the place where all of the customers are already at and where people are buying products. So they are their customers. And everything that you do, whether you're contacting another seller, whether you're contacting a customer, they are watching you. And this is where most people get themselves into trouble. Because the thing is that Amazon, when somebody buys, even if they know they're buying from your company or they're not buying from Amazon, they want top quality customer service and they want high feedback for their sellers, for their buyers to look at. And the thing is that this feedback, and we'll take a look at it here in a little bit, this feedback is just one of the major factors that determines your search rankings. Kind of seems weird, right? Like, why would my feedback as a seller affect my search rankings? Well, think about this. If you buy products on Amazon, and again, we'll go look at this, do you really ever see very many sellers that have like really bad feedback? Do you ever see like you're like looking for a product and the product feedback might be bad? Amazon doesn't mind if the product feedback is bad because that's what the customer thinks about the product, although that also affects the rankings sometimes. But do you ever really see sellers that have like, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen an Amazon seller that has a like under 90% feedback rating. And if they do, you can guarantee they aren't going to be around for very long. They want their sellers to have really high feedback, and those are the ones that will show up high in the rankings and for the buy box.
And you know what too, Lance? I mean, the way that I look at that is, you know when you buy stuff on eBay and you have to go and say like, okay, well there's these 10 sellers, and then let me go and look it through their feedback, and then you have to narrow down half of them. My thing at least is that Amazon is trying to get you to as one click as possible for those customers. So if a customer like sees they want to go buy something, they just want to click. They don't want to have to go through that process of checking everyone's reviews and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, and I mean that really does it pays it plays a piece in where they rank you. So yeah, better feedback, you're going to have a better ranking. It's going to move forward. And here's the thing, it's not only in helping with your ranking, but like Robert was just saying, it's a factor that customers use when determining what to buy and who to buy from. And so let's just take a look really quick at like what these reviews are, where they're at, and why they play such an important role. So let's go over here to our web browser here, and we'll go over to Amazon.com. And I mean, let's see. Well, let's just search for. I mean, well, since we've been using this the whole time, we'll search for fire starter. And here's what you're going to see. So these stars right here that are showing up when we're on this like results page, these are for the product itself. Okay, so this is how people are rating the particular product. So if I go to one of these, I mean, let's just go here and see what we've got here. Now, here's what happens. Let's see. Oop, this one is being sold by only one seller. Oh, here we go, 15 new. So when we go here, now we can look at all of these sellers that have what their feedback is. And you can see this guy's got 91% positive out of 66,000 feedbacks. This guy's got 89% out of 21,000 feedbacks. This guy's got 97% out of 8,000 feedbacks. And here's the thing is that this will play a role in who gets the buy box for this particular product. And what you'll start noticing if you've been watching your products that you're shipping in, not your sourced products, but the products you're shipping in, is sometimes you have the lowest price, but you don't show up in the buy box. And part of the reason for that is this ranking right here. And that plays a really important role. So you want to make sure that you build up that feedback and that you get good feedback. Now, here's the thing, is that sometimes you will get negative feedback. Now, there's a really cool little trick about negative feedback that you can do, that you get back, and we'll show you how to get that there, because a lot of times what will happen is Amazon's really careful, okay? So there's product feedback, which is, I don't like your product, and then there is customer feedback or seller feedback, which is, how did it ship on time? If it shipped on time and they said it didn't ship on time, Amazon tracks that. They'll remove that feedback for you. If they say they didn't send the right product and you did send the right product, Amazon can tell that. They'll remove that for you. If they put a negative feedback on your account and they say the product was terrible, that's not seller feedback, that's product feedback. Amazon will remove that for you. So as long as you are doing everything in line, shipping out the product when the order comes in like you're supposed to, which you don't have to worry about if it's an FBA product, Amazon does that, and you're sending out the product that you said you were going to send out, which you don't have to worry about that if you're using FBA, then there is no bad feedback that they can leave for you. So it'll obviously be taken off. And so it's very important to remember that if somebody doesn't leave seller feedback on your account, Amazon will remove that. So that's what the ratings are, and that's what we want to build up. Okay, so now most of us probably don't have any feedback at this time, but here's what you want to do, is you want to contact all of the people that buy something from you in order to ask them for feedback for you as a seller. Okay, now this is straight from Amazon, so I know people are going to say, well, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I get around this by doing this? Remember Amazon's stance on this. You are borrowing their customers, and anything that you do or you try to stretch any of these rules, you will get yourself into trouble. So whatever you're thinking and whatever you guys are going to put in the questions or whatever you're going to ask on the Q&A call, can I do this? The answer is probably no. If you think you found a loophole, guess what? They're going to shut you down anyway. So here's straight from Amazon's website about contacting any buyers. You may not contact buyers for marketing or promotional purposes, including email, physical mail, telephone, or otherwise. So what that means is you cannot contact the buyer with any of the information that you have about them, because you get to see what their mailing address is. You might have their telephone number, anything. You may not contact them in any way at all for any marketing or promotional purposes. Any. So you may not contact them for any marketing or promotional purposes. And I think that that's really clear, but I mean, I know, and I've seen other courses where they say, well, you can do this, but you won't get in trouble. You will get in trouble. And if you think you won't, and you think you found a loophole, my advice is use that help ticket center that we showed you in module 1 and ask them before you do it. If you send a permitted email to Amazon.com customer, your email may not include any of the following. So we are allowed to contact our customers through our Seller Central account as long as we don't include any of the following. We may not include links to any website. We may not have any seller logos if they contain or display a link to the seller's website. So you can't say, well, my logo has my website address on it. You can't use it, okay? You can't have any marketing message or promotion message in it, and you cannot have any promotions for additional products or referrals to any third-party products or promotions, okay? Is that kind of clear, Robert? So you can't do
Yeah,
any kind of marketing to any of Amazon's customers. They are not your customers, they're Amazon's customers.
and I mean it makes sense too because what would happen? I mean, what would happen if all this stuff was allowed? Well, then someone could go on Amazon, and you know how you end up buying 20 different things. You say, "Oh, I'm gonna buy like a armband for my phone so I can go jogging. I'm gonna go and buy some canned stuff. I'm gonna buy a new like bath mat. I'm gonna buy 20 different things. I'm gonna load it up." Well, what if 20 different buyers all had the buy box, which, usually you're not just getting stuff from just one buyer. So you end up, getting 20 different things. What would happen if then you started getting 20 phone calls, you were added a 20 email list, you were added a 20 physical mailing list? It would just be a nightmare. It would get to the point where you'd be so flooded with junk mail, it would be ridiculous. So Amazon wants to avoid that. They want to protect their own customers. And I mean, if you think about it that way, it just makes sense. Like, and everyone tries to, like you said, they try to think they found the loophole. Oh, well, I'll just work something into this email, or oh, I'll just add them to some Facebook custom audience. Well, what if 100 people did that? Well, then now it's not so good, is it?
And they will find you. I mean, they will find out about it. I don't know how, but you hear stories all the time about people that put business cards in their packaging on the stuff that they do. They get shut down.
We
It happens all the
And
time.
with that one, I think that's because we all get emails every now and then of like, well, leave packaging feedback about this item, and there'll be some link to some survey you fill out for Amazon, and you answer these multiple choice questions like, did it arrive on time? Was it packed? And was there anything else in the package? And so, and it's just randomly. It's not every time, but every now and then, like these customers will get this survey where they can report you and not even realize it because they're just being honest and saying, "Oh, cool, I'm leaving packaging feedback. Oh yeah, there was a card in there." Well, you get enough of those, dings on your record, and you're done.
And you're done. Just like Google with no chance of getting back in. So here's what a cool thing though is that Amazon does allow you to make feedback requests to the customers. So you are allowed to follow up with your customers to make sure that they are satisfied with the product, and you can also ask them to leave feedback. But you can't offer to pay them or incentivize them in any way to get feedback or to ask them to remove feedback. Okay? So really, really careful about this because I've seen people that'll say things like, well, what you do is after they buy, you contact them and say you'll send them another one if they leave you positive feedback. Amazon is watching, okay? And they will shut you down. But you are allowed to get feedback requests. So before we do this, I want to show you guys something really cool. And I actually did this morning before the call because I wanted to make sure that the email that I wanted to send out to customers was allowed and also in their records as cleared. So let me show you this here. Let me log into this account. And it's cool because they leave a record of it. Remember, we talked about in the previous model our case log. So if I look at my case log here, you can see that, um, oops, they didn't add, it hasn't been added in yet, but I got an email that says it was added in. But here's what you can do. If you go to help and you pick what you're looking for. So what I did this morning was I went to manage orders, and then I said, okay, I want to get started. Now over here on the side, once I'm in the help section, it says I can ask my question on the seller forums. I went and looked, couldn't find my exact question. And then it says I can contact seller support. So I went here and I did the same thing. So I said like orders, and it's not about feedback. Well, first I went to feedback problems, and they said, well, you can remove it by putting in the order ID, but that's not what I wanted to do. So I went to other order issues, and this was kind of cool because I was like, well, how am I going to get my answer so I don't tell people the wrong thing to say? So what I did was I put in my thing and I put customer feedback or something like that, customer feedback. And then I said, well, I know that I can't contact customers. Here's the email that I would like to send, and I put the text of it in this box. Now, here's what's really awesome. I didn't want to wait for an email response, so I just put in chat, and I did start chat, and guess what happened? In less than 30 seconds, I was in a chat with an Amazon associate who went through my email, told me it was okay, cleared it for me. So any question that you have on any of this stuff, you can choose phone or chat, and they will get back to you like immediately. So you don't even have to wait. I thought that was really, really cool. And then, like I said, I have an email in my email box that said it's going to be added to my recent cases. I guess they just haven't done that yet. So you have a record of it. You can contact and get a hold of them right away. So any question you have, go and use that and ask them about it. I'd rather ask them a question than get my account shut off. So here's what you can do. Remember, you can't contact a customer outside of Amazon at all. Do not put a flyer in your packaging. Do not put a phone number in or on your packaging. Do not put a business card in your packaging. You will lose your account. But here's an email that you are allowed to use. And this is the one I actually had approved from them. And it just says, thank you for your recent order from GTM USA. That's what our seller is on this particular account. We are following up to make sure that you are 100% satisfied with your order and that you can give us a 5-star rating through Amazon Marketplace feedback system if you can find some time. If you ever have questions, do not hesitate to contact us at any time. We take customer satisfaction as our #1 priority. So if you are not 100% satisfied, then let us know and we will make it right. You can leave feedback here. Now this is why I contacted them, because their rules say you cannot have a URL or a website address of any kind. So this is what I was concerned about, is I didn't want to contact them and say, leave us feedback, and they didn't know where to go. Amazon said I'm allowed to put in that link there. We appreciate your business and are looking forward to seeing you back soon. GTM USA Customer Satisfaction Team. So really simple, really straightforward. And I mean, you can't harass them, but it's a good way to make contact with them in order to get some kind of feedback from them. So remember, the goal with all of this is to get good feedback. Okay, so don't harass Amazon's customers. If you send the feedback request and they don't answer you, let them be. Don't keep sending it over and over again. Don't keep doing that. They will report you to Amazon. So you send one message, that's one message to the customers asking for feedback, and that's it. They either leave feedback for you or they don't, because you don't want to generate bad feedback or complaints from the customer because you're bothering them. And if you do that, you can be sure that Amazon will shut you down. So here's what you do. Pick a day of the week, whether it's Wednesday or Monday or Tuesday or whatever, but pick one day a week where you're going to do that and send a feedback request for all of your orders from the previous 2-week period. Now, the reason why you don't want to do it from last week is that, well, if it's Monday or Tuesday and you're sending a feedback request from somebody that purchased on you last Friday, which is like 3 days ago, they might not have even got the package from you yet. So you want to do it from the previous 2 week period and ask them, just send them this email request, and hopefully you'll generate some feedback.
And
So
and
here's how
and do
you
you want to
find the
show what
orders.
the that Amazon slash feedback page looks like?
Yeah, we'll go there
All right.
as soon as we show them how to find it. So we're going to find our orders to send that feedback in order to get feedback from our customers. So what we're going to do is go to our Seller Central home account, and at the very top, across the top, we're going to see where it says orders, and then we're going to select manage orders. Okay. Then what we're going to do once we get to the manage orders screen is we're going to click advanced search. Okay. And we're going to change the order placed from, they've got some presets, and we're going to select exact dates. And then it's going to ask us, well, from what dates do we want to have? And what we're going to do is we're going to select 2 weeks ago, a 1 week period. And I'll show you what I mean by that. And then we're going to, where it says pending order, we're going to uncheck include pending orders, because what happens is sometimes people put it in their carts and don't buy it. We don't want to ask them for feedback. So we want to uncheck include pending orders and then click on search. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us a complete list of completed orders that we know should have been received by this time. Okay? So then what we do is from that order list that we're going to get back, we're going to click on the buyer name under the column that says contact buyer. Okay, so we're going to click on their buyer name. And then here's a cool tip. If you've got a bunch of orders that have come in, then if you hold down, if you're on Windows, if you hold down the control button on your keyboard and then left click on it, it will open in a new tab. So you can open all of them all at once and know that you're getting to all of them instead of going to one new screen and then go back and then did I send to that person or not? This way you'll make sure you only send to everybody once. Or if you're on a Mac, you can right click and then select open in a new tab. Okay. And then it's going to ask us what we want our subject to be for our message. We want to select feedback request, and then we're going to paste in our email, and that'll be available to you guys inside of the members area, and then click send email. Really simple, nothing more than that. Just choose one day a week where you're going to send all of that in, and let's show you guys how to do that. So what I'm going to do is go back to my Seller Central account. Let's make sure we're in the right account here. So we'll go to the GTM USA account. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to orders up here at the top once we're in Seller Central, and we're going to go to our manage orders screen. Okay, so orders, manage orders. And then up here at the top, what we want to do is click on advanced search. So it's got like date range, but it doesn't really gives us different ways, but this range doesn't give us, well, 2 weeks ago for a 1 week period. So we're going to click on advanced search. And then what we're going to do is where it says order placed right here, we're going to change that to exact dates. And the from and to, we're going to make this 2 weeks ago for a 1 week period. Here's how we do that. If we click on this from date, highlighted is today's date. We want 2 weeks ago, which would be 1, 2, and then we want a 1 week period. So I'm going to go from here to here. Okay? So that's 2 weeks ago, 1, 2, for a 1 week period. And if you do it this way, you'll always make sure that 1, the customer has received the package, and 2, that you don't double send to people. Okay, so just put it on your calendar. One day a week, you're going to do this process. So you pick the from date and the to date, so 1, 2 weeks ago for a 1 week period. And then what we need to do is where it says pending orders, we want to uncheck include pending orders. Then we click on search. And what this does is it brings up all of the orders that were processed in that 1 week period. Now, in order to send these people a request for feedback, what we do is we click on their name right here in the contact buyer section. Okay. Now, here's what I was talking about. If we go here and we click on this, well, watch what happens. It takes us in this area, and I mean, that kind of gets confusing if you have a whole bunch of them. So what I like to do is if I hold down Control and then I click on it, it opens up in a new window here. Or I can right click and do Open Link in New Tab, and I can right click and do Open Link in New Tab, or I can hold down Control again and click, Control click, Control click, and now I know that I've got all of the people that I need to contact opened up in these different tabs. Now all I have to do is go to this first tab for the first person, and I want to go for my subject. I want it to be feedback request, and then all I'm going to do is paste in that message. So we'll paste that in here. There we go. And then we'll click Send Email. Once that gets sent, close that down. Then we'll go here, Feedback Request, right click and paste in my email, click Send Email.
So if we come back to one of these pages again, Lance, does it show that we've contacted this person, or do we have to just keep track on our own?
So if you go back here, and I believe if you go to your main home page up here, and then you go to Buyer Messages, up here where it says Sent Messages, you can see who you've sent to.
Cool. So I mean,
But
so
doesn't make it super easy,
right.
but you can do it.
Yeah, and I guess what you could do is just if you know that you're going from oldest to newest, and it was time for you to send out your messages, you could just go here first to the sent messages, find the most recent one, and then say, okay, that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the most recent order after Carla.
Yeah, as long as they've received it and that you can find that person in your pages of
As
stuff.
long as you're in that date range and all that stuff. Cool.
Yep. So we'll do this and then paste that in. So now all of these, what's happening is all of these people are getting these emails from us with a request for feedback. So it makes it pretty simple. It makes it pretty quick. And then again, just pick, 1 day a week to go through this process. That way you make sure you get everybody and you don't duplicate it. And again, don't keep hounding them about it. Just do this once. If they leave you feedback, great. If they don't, that's great too. So now one thing I wanted to show you here is you can see, remember we talked about if people contact you. So I received this email and it said inquiry from an Amazon customer and it had their name. So I clicked on it and read this, and the first thing I noticed is, well, it's asking about one of the things I'm selling, and they're saying, can I buy 200 of these for you at $15 a piece through PayPal? I didn't even respond to this because I don't even want to entertain any of this. This is the kind of stuff that will get you shut down. Anytime you get any kind of message like this, all you have to do, don't even reply, just report it, okay? So you just click on, please report it to us here, and then don't touch it, let it go. And if any other seller contacts you for any reason at all, I suggest you do the exact same thing. They're watching all of that, they track all of that, and you are not supposed to be contacting other sellers. And if you're contacting buyers, that's why they keep all of this here so they can see how you're contacting them. Now, here's something else about feedback that you're going to want to do that is kind of cool. You can see here we've received 1 5-star rating from somebody. So if you click on customer feedback, you can look at this anytime. They just said excellent service, and underneath this there was a button that said leave a response to them. So what I did was I just went through right after it came in, clicked leave response, and I just put thank you for your purchase. Okay, so just they like to see that interaction between you and your customers. So if somebody leaves you a message, respond to it. And you get emails for this stuff when it happens as well.
And then so the other thing is that so the message you sent to them, you sent them to amazon.com/feedback. So can you open up that tab real quick?
Yeah,
Because
so, well, I mean, nothing shows up unless you're logged in. And basically, it shows you everything that you've
well,
purchased. So
and
if you
that
go to,
and that's the thing too. Because I was looking at that, and at first, because I was thinking like, well, if we're asking him for feedback, do we have to like, find our own link? And so on this page, it just lists their most recent purchased, like newest to oldest. So
yeah,
so if they just bought 10 things in the past week, it lists them all. So that's why if you're contacting them a week or two later, then you still should be at the top of this page. So if you wait a month or two, then you're not going to be up here anymore.
yeah, and I mean, most people, if they're going to click to leave feedback, they'll go through and leave feedback for whatever they've got.
Cool.
And that's the other reason why you put who you are and what your seller name is. So just use that template, and that will hook you guys up with some reviews, which will help your account, but will also help you with um, your rankings. Okay. So again, what we're doing today is we talked about where we're at, what we've done so far in this course, from getting our products, getting them listed, to actually getting some sales already. Talked about how to get customer reviews. And again, please be careful with this. If you think you found a loophole, err on the side of caution and contact Amazon. If you see another seller doing something, don't contact that seller and ask them about that. Contact Amazon and get the answer to your question from them. So now what we're going to do is talk about promotion ads, okay? How to start getting traffic and sales. And this is not only going to lead into increasing our keyword ranking, but it's also going to give us some clues about what keywords we want to rank for. So let's jump into these Amazon promotion ads. So basically, what an Amazon promotion ad is it's like a pay-per-click service that works really, really cool. And here's why. If you think about Google AdWords, which we all kind of know about, right? When somebody searches something on Google, the ads show up on the side. It works kind of like that, but it's a lot better, because if somebody's searching for a product on Amazon, chances are they are looking for something to buy. Why? Well, like, Google is a search engine, right? So people are looking for information. Amazon, all you can do on Amazon is buy products. So if somebody searches in Amazon, you know a heck of a lot more about them than you do on Google. Most of the time, if somebody does a search on a keyword on Amazon, they're looking to buy something, okay? So what we want is, when somebody searches on a keyword that we think relates to our product, all of the keyword research we did in Module 3, we want our ad to show up with our product on it, okay? And here's what's awesome about Amazon promotion ads is right now they're really, really cheap. They're super effective, and they're easy to set up because of the things that we already did in Module 3. We already optimized our listing, and we already did keyword research. And I mean, Robert, you've done, I mean, for years, and you've been around even when the heyday of Google AdWords. I mean, what would you, I mean, what would be a good, like, sort of your ad on AdWords to it actually leading to a purchase? I mean, what kind of numbers would you think would be good?
You mean like a good like cost per click conversion
Conversion.
rate?
Yeah, like, I mean, if somebody clicked on your, like, clicks to sales,
All right.
I mean, what would you think would be a good conversion rate on AdWords, just from what you know about
I mean,
AdWords?
on AdWords, I mean 2%, 5% would be
Two
great.
2% would be like awesome, right?
Yeah.
I know, like, when we run AdWords stuff and we've tried it, I mean, we're really lucky if we get 2%, from somebody clicking on an ad to buying a product.
Oh yeah.
And so that's what's kind of cool about Amazon, is that these people are already searching for something to buy. So here's the other bonus about it, is that unlike, AdWords, where they've got the keyword tool where they say 1 million searches a month are happening for this particular keyword, Amazon doesn't give you any of that information. There's no, at least today, there's no Amazon keyword tool where we can say what keywords are popular, which ones should we be focused on. But what's really neat is that if we run ads on all of our keywords in a roundabout way, and I'll show you this, Amazon actually shows us how many times that's being searched for. So now we know where to spend our time in what keywords we actually want to rank for.
And
So,
and you know
yep.
what's cool too is I don't know if our students who's listening, how many of you have tried these different paid ad networks, but what they're all trying to do is their job is to connect people with what they're trying to find, right? And so when you're doing like the Google ad, well, the best thing they can really look at is the conversion rate. Do a lot of people click on this ad? Well, that's okay, I guess. When you look at Facebook ads, the best thing they can look at was, well, do they click that like button? I guess that's okay. But the coolest thing and the reason why Amazon ads are different than anything else is because they can tie those to sales. So if someone goes on Amazon and they search for, in our case, fire starter, and they go and end up buying our fire starter, then Amazon says, well, hey, this, like, if 100 different people search for the term fire starter, and out of all the things, even two of them end up buying the fire starter six from us, well, then we'd better move these people up in the rankings. So it just, I don't know, it feels like it's easier to climb those rankings and to do it faster, as opposed to things like search engine listings and things like that, and the paid ads.
Yeah,
So
I mean, they're in a super unique place right now where they're in the business of they make money when you sell products, right? And so, and they're in a unique position where they control the search, they control the marketplace, and they know exactly what somebody searched and what they ended up buying. And if they searched something and bought yours, that's the most relevant. And like you're saying, Robert, just like any search engine, whether it's Google or Facebook or Amazon, they're in the business of returning the most relevant, in Amazon's case, product to what they're searching on. So that's really good, and that's what I think a lot of people don't see is that just by running the right ads or running ads at all can make you move up in rank for keywords that you're trying to target. So let's look at some of these promotion ads so you guys know what we are talking about. So we'll go back over to Amazon and let's go to Amazon.com. And since we've been using this as our example, we'll search for Firestarter. Now, I can tell you, I don't think that we show up anywhere in the results right now for Firestarter. It's really, really um, competitive. I mean, you can look at all of these different products that are on here right now. So how are we selling stuff? Well, it's kind of cool because if I look down here, these are some links, but let's go over here and we scroll down through all of these. And what happens is, look at the bottom of the search. There are these ads, and right here, guess what? There's our ad, even with our new picture with the fully white background on here. And so as people are scrolling through these and they're saying, well, is anything here that I'm looking for? That's not really a fire starter. That's not really a fire starter. That is, but I don't know if I like that one. Boom, before they can even go to the next page, there's our ad right where they are trying to click anyway. Okay, so what happens? If somebody searches fire starter and I'm not in the first page or the second page or the third page or probably even the 20th page, but now I'm on page 2 in this particular case, and that changes where you show up, and they go, guess where I'm at? I'm where they want to click anyway. Okay, so I got a good chance that somebody's going to click on it, and if somebody searches for fire starter, I'm obviously bidding on that word, they click on it and then buy my product. What does that tell Amazon? It tells Amazon that my product is relevant to the search term fire starter. And in this case, more relevant than any of these, which means what? They start watching it and I start moving up the ranks. So pretty cool. And again, you can do this on any type of product. I mean, what's something else? What did you talk about earlier, Robert? Diapers?
yeah.
Let's just see here. So you
And
search for
so
diapers.
are you telling me that are you able to run ads for products that aren't yours, or only for the ones that you actually have the UPC for?
You can run a product for anything that you have listed.
Cool. So if you're the only
Okay?
one, then it makes sense to run some ads for it, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not showing up in the rankings, but if you follow sort of the criteria that we've laid out for you, under 100K, making sales already, then I wouldn't do that. I mean, it's kind of a waste of money to bump somebody else some listing where it's already making sales.
Makes sense.
So that's where those are at, and that's what we want to get our ads in for our sourced products. So again, anything that you search for, we can do fire starter again. And weird how it gave me those results. I mean, these don't look anything like. I don't know how this is ranking number 1 for fire starter, but it is. So the results are moving around, and check that out. We're on page 1 right now. And what's neat about it is you look at it, and we don't have any reviews yet. We'll talk about how we're going to be doing that here in a little while. But if you look at it, I mean, we're competitive in price. And what I like about it is when they click on ours, and I mean, we can go ahead and click on it, we're doing something that nobody else is. We've got our lifetime warranty on the price as well, which is going to help us make some sales as well. So that's where those are at, and that's what we're looking at listing. How do you get your ad set up?
And so that lifetime warranty, I mean, that's just something that you do, right? It's just they can mail it back and you'll mail them back another one.
Yeah, and I mean, so for our particular product, it cost us about $2 to have them made. So we got a bunch of them. They're here and made. And if somebody, so the way that we wrote the warranty in the last session was pretty simple. We basically said, if for any reason at all your fire starter stops working, or um, or basically any reason that you have at all, you can send it back to us and we will send you a new one. And again, since people aren't doing that, I mean, so when you order today, you're covered by our lifetime warranty. If your fire starter stops working for any reason, including worn out from using it over 12,000 times, just contact us and we'll send it back, which means they have to pay shipping to send it back, and we'll replace your fire starter absolutely free of charge. So I mean, what do we really care if somebody buys something from us? And you guys can see we're already walking up the price. We've been selling it at $6.99. We've got it at $7.99 now. That somebody goes out of their way to spend $3 to go to the post office to ship it back to us, and we ship them a new one. Doesn't it all? We get a happy customer, a good review, and it increases our rankings, right?
Right. And
So,
this still works if you're selling it from FBA.
yep, you can do this from FBA too.
So would you have them mail it back to you personally or to
Yep,
Amazon's?
they'd send it back to us. They contact us, send it back, and then you send them out a new one.
Cool, pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Yep, I mean, Amazon's got this stuff all worked out. So what we want to do is set up these ads, okay? So here's how you're going to set them up, and then we'll go ahead and set one up with our example, and we'll look at some of the stuff that we've got going on there. So from your Seller Essential account, at the very top, you want to hover where it says advertising, and then select Campaign Manager. Now, the first time that you do this, they're going to ask you for billing stuff, a credit card to bill it on. If you're using the same account that is linked to your buyer account, it will already be there for you. You just click a button or enter in your billing information, and then you only have to do that one time. Then you'll be taken to a screen that's going to show you all of your campaigns. And what you want to do is at the top, click on Create Campaign. It's going to ask you for some really simple information. First, it's going to ask you for your campaign name. Just give it your product name, okay? Give it your product name so you know what it is. You're the only one that sees that. It's going to ask for your daily budget. Start with $5 just to see how much traffic you're going to actually generate. You can increase this at any time. The start date is the day that you set up your ad. The end date is none. So it'll run forever. If you want to stop it at a later time, you can go in and stop the ad, and then you click Save and Continue. Okay? Once you do that, it's going to ask you for your ad group name. And what you want to do is just use the main keyword that we selected from our spreadsheet. Remember, in Module 3, what we did was we put our main keyword at the very top. Just use that for your ad group name. And then it's going to ask you for a default bid. Now, what I do is I use 89 cents. Why? Well, what they're going to tell you the default bid is 5 cents, which means most people are going to say, well, I want the cheapest click, I want 5 cents, and I don't want to compete with them. I want my ad to show as much as possible for two reasons. One, the more that the ad is shown, if it's with a relevant keyword, the more chance I have of making a sale. The second reason is I want to know how many times each keyword is being searched on. So I want to make sure that I'm being shown the most so I can get a good idea of how many times that keyword is being searched on, so that will help me when I try to start ranking to know which keywords to rank for, right? So 89 cents, anytime you do pay-per-click stuff, one of the tricks of doing it is don't pick like 80 cents or 85 cents or 90 cents. Why? Because that's what everybody picks. So if you use one of these odd kind of numbers, you're higher than all of the people that picked 85 cents. You're not going to pay that much, okay? But you want to make sure that you are the highest bid so that you show the most. And then basically what happens is you get charged for what the next lowest bid, what it is. So if the highest bid under you is 20 cents, then you get charged 21 cents, not 89 cents for each click. Then what it's going to do is it's going to say, well, what SKUs do you want to have? And it's going to have a listing of all of your products that you've got there. All you do is pick the product that you want to advertise, the one that you've got sourced, hopefully, and just click Add Product. And then it's going to ask for your keywords. Guess where we're going to get our keywords from? Well, luckily, we already did all of our keyword research when we were optimizing our listing. So all we're going to do is go to our google.com drive. We're going to open up our spreadsheet. Remember, we named it our product name keywords. So ours is Firestarter keywords. And we're going to copy all those keywords. We're going to paste them right into the ad box and click Save. And that's it. We're done. Our ad will now start showing. So let's create one. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to log out and go into our other account here. All right, so what we're going to do is, again, we're going to go to advertising up here at the top, and then we're going to go to campaign manager. All right, advertising, campaign manager. And as you can see, I've already got an ad set up here. We'll talk about this in the next section, but for now, what we want to do is make sure we're at all campaigns, okay? And if you're not sure if you're there or not, over here on the left, you can click on all campaigns, and then we're going to click on create campaign. You can either click on it here, or you can click on it here, in the bottom left. So either the bottom left or right in the middle, this orange or orangish yellow button. So I'm going to click on create campaign. And now it says, what's our campaign name? So again, we're going to be the only one that sees this. I'm going to call this Firestarter in all lowercase so we can distinguish it from the all uppercase one that I've already got running. And then my daily budget, you can see it recommends $5. So for now, let's leave this at $5. Start date is today's date. End date is none. Okay, so nobody sees this. This is just for you. Use your product name. Daily budget, you can put this at $5 to get started, and then save and continue. And now it's asking for our ad group. Okay, so our ad group is our main keyword that we picked in the last module, right? So I'm going to go over to get our spreadsheet that we worked on in the last module. So that's at google.com/drive. And we'll go to Google Drive. And remember, our spreadsheet was Firestarter keywords. So whatever your main keyword was, keywords, that's what we named it. And cool, my main keyword was Firestarter. So I'll copy that. And my ad group name will be Firestarter. My default bid. So again, don't want to bid 5 cents. That's probably what everybody's bidding. We're going to bid 89 cents. And then for the SKUs, you can see we've got some different products here. We're going to pick the product that we want to advertise. In our case, it is this particular one down here at the bottom, and we click on add. Okay, so we've got, once it's over here on the right hand side, this is the product that the ad is for. And we scroll down and it's got keywords. So first thing is we want to add or enter the keywords over here on the right hand side. Okay, so we're going to go grab our keywords. We're going to copy these out. Right click, copy, and then we're going to right click and paste. All right, so we got all of our keywords there. Now, here's something that Amazon will do. You can do recommend keywords for your SKU that you've got picked up here. So sometimes it's good to just see what they've got here. So survival kit, all right, I mean that could be good. I don't want to advertise on magnesium. I don't want to advertise on specials. Survival, maybe. Camping, sure, maybe. But everything else kind of too broad, but these will get us started. And then what I do is click on save, and now my ad is running, and you can see that it's all good. So if I go to all campaigns again, I can see the two campaigns I've got running. The one that we just started was this fire starter, so I can click on that. And now at any time I can see the ads, which are just what products it's for, and I can see the keywords. But what's interesting about this, and we'll talk about this in a minute, is it shows me the impressions each keyword's getting, the clicks each keyword's getting, how much I've spent on that keyword, and more importantly, how many orders came from that keyword. So pretty easy to start setting it up and getting traffic, even if you don't rank for a keyword that you want, like we want fire starter. So we talked about what we've done so far in this class, how to get reviews and how that affects your keyword ranking, how to start running ads so you can start making sales, and more importantly, how to use those ads in order to increase our keyword rankings. So let's talk about that really quick. And I mean, the one thing that's awesome about Amazon is that ranking is a lot easier than it is for other stuff, and it's not as competitive. So you'll see that when we look at the ad that Robert and I have actually been running for our fire starter. So we've got this huge list of keywords, right, that we generated in Module 3. Here's the thing is, we want to start ranking for keywords that actually get us sales. And keyword ranking, remember, like we've been talking about all through this module, is based on a bunch of factors. But the big ones are customer feedback. Well, we've got that sort of figured out and how we're going to increase our customer feedback. Sales rank, we've got that solved, right? Because we're running ads to relevant keywords so that people can buy our product. Plus, we've got better listings than any of our competitors. And another big factor is giving customers what they want. Okay, so people actually buying the products when they look at your listings. All right, we've kind of taken care of that by running some ads, but there's some more stuff that we can do. So like I said, is we've got a list of keywords from Module 3. The problem is that just because we have all of those keywords and just because Google says how many searches they get, we don't know how many of those or which ones of those actually get search traffic on Amazon. So I mean, it would make no sense for us to go out like we've got this campaign here, all of these words, and start saying, you know what I want to rank for? I want to rank for fire stick with a K. Why would I spend any time trying to rank for that if nobody's searching for it on Amazon? But then again, I don't know if anybody's searching for it on Amazon. Why would I want to rank for fire starter kit if nobody's searching for it on Amazon? Again, how do I know if it's even being searched on Amazon? They don't give us sort of that keyword search. But here's the thing, is the ad that we just set up is going to give us this information. It's kind of a tricky way to get Amazon to show you what is being searched for your keywords. So Amazon is going to give us this information for us after our ad runs for a couple of days. Remember I said bid high so that we can get that added information of how many times it's being searched for. So here's what we want to do is that we want to find traffic keywords, right? And hopefully traffic keywords, meaning people are searching for it, but also traffic keywords that are leading to buyers for our particular product. How do we do that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our Seller Central account. We're going to go again to Advertising and Campaign Manager. We're going to click on our product name under campaign. So in our case, this was Firestarter. And then this time what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that keywords tab after the ads have run for a while, and we're going to analyze the impressions column. So what the impressions column means, because of the way that we've set up the ad, is how many searches. Remember, we think we're bidding higher than everybody else. So that means that when our ad is shown, it's only shown when somebody bids on that keyword. That means we can get a pretty good idea of how many searches are happening for each keyword. Guess what? The keywords that get a lot of impressions are the ones that we want to focus on increasing our ranking in. Now, we're going to increase our ranking just from running the ad itself and having people click on it and buy the ad. That's good, but we're going to show you some other things that you can do as well. So we're going to analyze that impressions column. Think of that as the number of searches for what we're talking about right now. Then we're going to look at the clicks column. What this means is relevancy, right? I mean, if I am bidding on the word camping, for example, and it's showing that I'm getting 1 million views, but nobody's clicking on my ad or buying my ad for my Firestarter, guess what? People that are searching for camping aren't looking for fire starters. It means I'm not relevant. So that's not going to help, right? That's not a keyword we want to go after. And then finally, you want to look at the 1 month orders placed. So you look at, is it getting traffic? Is it getting clicks? And then are people buying from it? Because that's already boosting up our ranking. Now, once we know what those keywords are, those are the ones that we want to focus on. Now, one other thing that I want to make clear from you guys is that if you're running ads and you're seeing sales coming in, and then you check your ad and you're like, my ad says I got 1,000 impression and 4 clicks, but no sales, but you've got a sale that came in, it's kind of lagged a couple of days before they add in the order, okay? So I don't know why they do it that way. I don't know why it is that way, but what I've noticed is when I run an ad, the clicks are pretty much up to date, the impressions are up to date, but the orders don't show up for sometimes 2 or 3 days. So if you're seeing orders come in, but it's not showing up in your ads, that doesn't mean your ad is working. Keep running them until and see if they show up, okay? So let's take a look at what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to bring this back up here and go to the campaign manager. And again, in order to get here, we go to advertising at the top from our Seller Central account, and we go to campaign manager. Now, I'm going to click on this first campaign that I've already had running here. So you can see we've had some ads already running, and we've got some clicks here. So I'm going to go to that particular one, not the one that we just set up. It's basically the same thing with more keywords. And a couple of things to notice. First of all, I've increased my daily budget to $50. But if you go back here and look, you'll see like, and I've gone through and been adding more keywords, but I mean, I haven't been, oops, let me click on campaigns and we'll click on this. Oh, it won't show me here. When I go to my ad, I believe you can see that my ad itself, for all of the keywords, I've gotten 66,000 impressions, 156 clicks, and I've only spent $45. So I mean, that's pretty dang good for targeted buyer traffic. So it's costing us about 30 cents per click, but here's kind of what's cool about it, is we've made 8 orders already from that, and those 8 orders have resulted in $75 basically in sales with a conversion rate of 5%. Okay? So the ad is working for us, which is good. the purpose of the ad isn't really to make a bunch of money, although, I mean, this is a profitable ad, and it could be a lot profitable if I had turned some of the keywords off, but I left them running so we can look at these. So let's go look. Again, we go to all campaigns, fire starter, and we look at our keywords.
And
Now,
the other thing
yep,
too, Lance, is am I getting this right in that you have this ad set to $50 a day, but it's not even using all of that?
not even close.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, not even close. So this is overall time. You can see performance over the life of the campaign. And here's the one thing I don't like about their setup right now is it only shows 10 results at a, or not 10, I think it's 10 results at a time, just this little bit. And it'll look better on your screen and bigger, but you can't see everything at once. But the first thing I can do is look at this and go, all right, Army Compass got 12 impressions. Nothing else has gotten any impressions yet. So what does that tell me? None of this stuff is getting searches, or I'm not bidding high enough. Okay? So none of those are getting, so even those 12 impressions, no click, nothing spent. So that's not real helpful, other than I really don't want to focus on any of these keywords, right? So we'll go look at the next page. Again, some different ones. I look at the impressions row and check this out. So now I've got 32,000 impressions for the word camping. We spent $16 on the word camping, 53 clicks, 31 cents per click, and it resulted in one sale. So, I mean, this is kind of a call. I mean, to me personally, when I look at it, I'm like, this ad, sure, it's getting us traffic, but it's not helping our ranking. It's not making us money. I would rather not focus on this keyword, maybe even turn it off. And now, I mean, if you think about that, Robert, I mean, if this comes off, $16 out of our $45, now we're at $30 minus $10. Now we're almost doubling our money on our ads, right? Without
Right.
just this one ad in there.
Without this one dragging
So
us down.
without this one dragging us down and costing us money. So what I'm going to do is actually turn this one off. I'm going to just pause it so it doesn't show anymore, because it's not a keyword that I want to target, and it's not a key. I mean, we got a sale, but it's not generating sales, right? So not something I want to focus on. Now these keywords, kind of interesting. I mean, maybe there's something that we'll want to look at in the beginning. I definitely don't want to turn them off. Camping fire starter. So it only got searched 111 times, no clicks, but it's not costing me anything. So I'll keep that running for now. And we'll go look at the next page. So again, we're getting some impressions, but no clicks. And then you see a lot of words that don't get any impressions at all. So we don't want to focus on those either. Then we get over here and we see fire starter. Okay. So our keyword here is fire starter. That was our main keyword that we picked in the last module. We got 49 clicks, pretty relevant, a 0.3 basically click-through rate. We spent $12 on it, and it's resulted in 4 sales for $28 in revenue, 8% conversion. So I mean, Robert, this is a keyword that we want to focus on, right?
Yeah, because we doubled
Like,
our money.
we doubled our money, more than doubled our money on it. Plus, it's getting clicked on a lot, it's getting searched on a lot, and I mean, this looks pretty relevant. So for us, that would be the first word that we want to go for. And in fact, that's the one that we're actually looking at. Now here, I look at this one too. This one would probably be interesting as well. Fire starter kit didn't result in any sales, but did get some searches and some clicks. So we don't want to get rid of it yet, but still, relevant for what we're looking at, right? So we don't want to turn that off, and something that we might want to keep in mind for later. So here's another one. What is this keyword? Fire steel, and didn't result in any sales, but still resulted in some clicks. And I know that our competitor calls their product fire steel, so we're going to leave that for a little while and just let it run and see what happens. So, I mean, we can just kind of click through here and we're just looking for what we think would be the best word for us to go after right now. So here's another good one. What's this one? Magnesium fire starter. So a really good click-through rate. And check this out. One sale. And remember I told you I sold one at full price while I was changing the price, Robert?
Right.
So this is that one. So that might be another keyword that we want to go for. Just based on how much it's getting clicked on, generated a big sale for us. So magnesium fire starter, two words that we're gonna two phrases that we want to rank for. So here's the thing. Amazon has now told us what keywords are getting traffic and has also told us what keywords are generating sales for us, and it's doing it and generating sales for us at a profit. So now that we know what keywords we're going to look at, remember that people clicking on our ads after searching helps increase our ranking for those words. So when somebody searches on magnesium fire starter, they don't find us in the rankings, but they find our ad, click on it and buy it. Amazon says, aha, this product is relevant to the word magnesium fire starter and moves us up the rank. But people buying our product also helps us for those keywords. So when they search on them and they find our product, so if they search on fire starter and take the time to find us in the wherever we rank on Amazon and they buy through those keywords, that helps us as well. And think about why that helps us. Because if I'm on Amazon and I search for fire starter, let's just say I'm on Amazon and I search for fire starter and I go through all of these and I click all the way to wherever we are, let's say page 20, and we find our particular ad, what does that tell Amazon? Well, if you'll notice, first of all, on Amazon, you can't just jump to page 20. You can only jump one page ahead or go back. So that means you have to go through every single listing in order to get to page 20. If I wanted to see what's on page 20, I have to next page and then scroll through all of the listings to get to page 20. Now, if somebody scrolls all the way to page 5 and says, aha, this is the one that I want, and they buy it, what does it tell Amazon? It tells Amazon that this is so much more relevant than anything else that happened before, that a buyer was willing to scroll through 5 pages of products to find that product for that search and then buy it. Does that make sense, Robert?
Oh yeah.
So it helps with it a ton. So now let's take this one step further. How can we get people to do that for our product? Well, here's the thing. We're not allowed to incentivize people. We're not allowed to contact people through Amazon, but we are allowed to ask people that we personally know that would be interested in our product to purchase that product from us. Okay? So if you know somebody that's interested in fire starters, well, what should you do? You should contact them and say, would you be interested in buying a bunch of fire starters from me? Okay? So what I did is I actually have a meeting with the neighborhood Boy Scout troop. My wife, we have a community Facebook page. She actually went on and made a post that said, we have a bunch of these fire starters. If you'd like to buy one, contact Lance and he'll tell you how to do it. Okay? So we went to people that might be interested in our product and asked them to purchase it from us. Now here's what you do. You have them search the keyword that you're trying to rank for. So fire starter or magnesium fire starter in our case, and you have them try to find the listing. That would be the best way, right? Because if they have to scroll through some pages to find it, then that's the best thing. It tells Amazon these people really wanted this particular one, or if they can't find it, they can just click on the ad and have them purchase it. Now here's the thing. Even if you have to hold their hand, so We had some neighbors that we do favors back and forth for that we went over to their house. I did the search for them. I found the product. They clicked on it and bought it. Guess what? That's going to help us out. It's going to help our rankings out because this tells Amazon that your product is the most relevant product. So when they search it and then they go and find your product and buy your product, that's how you increase your rankings.
And so,
Okay?
and so, Lance, am I correct in assuming that you should not do this at all, like with your own computer? Like you shouldn't have someone come
Yes.
over, you go to their house, do it from their computer.
Very good point. Do not do this from your computer or your IP address, and do not do this from your Amazon account. This has to be a real person that really wants to buy your product. Now, why they want to buy the product, Amazon doesn't care. So if, your babysitter um, has a Amazon account and buys products, and you ask them to go buy this for you and tell them how or show them how to do it, whether you get on a go-to webinar and walk them through it, or you physically go to their house, or you tell them what to search and where they might find it, that's all okay. You just can't incentivize them to do it, and you can't do it for them, meaning you can't buy it and ship it to them. So they have to do it from their account, from their computer. They have to do the search, find the product, and that will help your rankings better than anything else that you can do.
And I mean, I know that this is kind of a gray area, but I mean, think about what Amazon's trying to avoid. They're trying to avoid someone going in and, buying a bunch of their own inventory and then mailing it back into FBA and buying it again and almost like borderline like money laundering, right? But I mean, if you're, and I know it's kind of a little bit of a gray area, but you are, you're recommending this item that you happen to sell and then sending them over to Amazon to buy it, from their own phone or their own computer using their own account, using their own money, and then, that's how you're making that sale.
Yep. And then you do all, then they ship it to them and it all happens and everybody's happy. Okay? So another thing, because I know somebody's thinking, well, what I'm going to do is go have somebody make a new Amazon account and buy this, and then make an Amazon account and buy this. Don't do that. It's not going to help. Amazon is probably the smartest company when it comes to what you are doing than any other company I've ever seen. So if you get somebody with an Amazon account that is interested in your product to buy your product by doing it the way that you're asking them to, that's fine. Don't go ask somebody to set up an account where they're going to buy your product and then they never buy anything else. That's not going to help you. That's probably going to hurt you. And if at worst, it's going to make somebody like look at your account. That's why have somebody that is genuinely would be interested in your product, ask them to purchase it. And here's the thing is if you pick your product the way that we showed you by going to the top 100 lists of each category, those categories were pretty dang broad, right? They were like toys, automotive, outdoors, sports. You probably know people that are interested in cars. You probably know people that are interested in outdoors. You probably know people that are interested in all of these things. That's why we had you pick the products the way that we did, because they're broad categories that you would know people that would probably be interested and could use your product that you're picking. So if you do this, that'll increase your keywords, that'll move you up the ranks really, really fast. Plus, you'll be making sales from the ads. And here's the thing I really want to stress about this is do not focus on ranking for keywords where you're not getting traffic, you're not getting clicks, and you're not getting sales. Where do you find that out? From the promotional ad that you're running. It tells you all of this information. So use that information and start with the most important keywords, which are the ones that get the most traffic and the most buyers. Focus on getting those increased in your search results rather than wasting time on this one will be easy because nobody's searching it. Well, guess what? Nobody's searching it, so you won't make any sales. You've just wasted your time. So I know we've covered a ton today, right? We have talked about how to scan and basically do this retail arbitrage type of process. We've talked about choosing our own products to get sourced and how to do that. We talked about optimizing our listings, getting them done correctly. Most importantly, I think, is that you want to start getting customer reviews for your account as soon as possible. So when you sell something, you wait for 2 weeks, you send them that little review request that we showed you guys, and start building up that review. That will help your account more than anything else. Now, don't harass the customers if they don't answer. Don't don't keep sending them messages over and over again, and protect your account. Remember, Amazon does not want sellers contacting other sellers. They don't want sellers contacting any of the customers other than for the things that they lay out. If you do any of that, or if you receive any of that, report it immediately. Even if you think that it is harmless, it is better to protect your account than to get banned forever from being able to access basically the biggest customer site, the biggest customer list in the world right now. Don't do anything shady with your account. When Amazon says you are not allowed to contact them in any fashion, for any reason, for promotional requests, or to sell them more products, or to bribe them, don't do it. And if you think that you found a loophole, my advice is, first of all, you didn't find a loophole. And if you really think you found a loophole, ask them before you do it, because Amazon doesn't play the game where you can apologize after you've made a mistake. They have too much at stake and will err towards banning you before letting you get away with something like that. So don't do it. Showed you guys how to set up promotional ads. They're cheap, they're easy, they're fast. You've already done all the work. All you have to do is grab your listing, copy and paste in your keywords, and start running ads. You can see that they are highly profitable. They work really, really fast. But I think the most important part about these ads is they give you some intelligence, right? They give you some idea of what people are searching for, what people are buying from you, so that you can start targeting the correct words for your keyword ranking so that you get that organic traffic and you show up at the top of the list. So, Robert, anything else you want to add in here before we get to today's challenge?
No, nothing else. I mean, it's just, I mean, the way I'm looking at this is it's exactly like getting traffic from Google, only it's with Amazon's rules. So with Google, you're dealing with, there's two approaches, right? And you should use both. There's SEO, which is the free stuff. There's pay-per-click, which is the paid stuff. So the paid stuff is pretty simple. You make your ads, and basically those are going to separate into three different kinds of results, right? So you go and you check out your keywords, put in your bids, and then you end up with either the ads that are they're making you money, or the ones that are losing you money. So the ones losing you money, pretty simple there. And there's the other ones where we just kind of wait and see, where we say, well, we're getting a few views, a few clicks, but it's not costing us anything. So let's see if maybe this is just more of a slow going keyword we have. And then with SEO, I mean, that's just what's left over. So things like, the customer reviews and messing around with the keywords, that's more of a process. But what I don't know, what struck me a lot over and over today, Lance, is that I can pretty much imagine that most sellers on Amazon don't do these things. And I guess we do know because, you and I buy stuff from Amazon all the time, and so does everyone else on this call. So the average seller on Amazon, as far as they go, is they list some stuff, cross your fingers, and just hope it works out. So if you're the person that's running some ads, even if it's just a few ads, even if you just have your $5 a day, if you're the person who is sending out these customer review requests, even if it's just once a week, and even if it's just at first, just to get your ranking up, then that'll put you ahead of most of these sellers. Because I know that, when we first started doing some of this stuff, Lance, I was thinking, well, why would we even bother selling these fire starter sets? Because, I mean, there's all kinds of these things selling. How can we get ahead? Well, this is how you get ahead, where cultivate the customer reviews, the keywords, and the ads. Most people won't do it, but now you will, because you know these secrets.
And I mean, you're absolutely right about the people that advertise. And I mean, if you want to find out or get an idea of how many people or how few people are actually advertising, is go to Amazon, type in whatever your keyword is that you're thinking about advertising for, and scroll to the bottom and look at the ads. and then click next page, and then scroll to the bottom and look at the ads. And what you're going to find is they'll rotate a little bit, but you're not going to see a whole bunch of ads running. I mean, Robert, we have thousands of competitors for the fire starters, like literally thousands of competitors, and we're getting 29-cent buyer clicks. You know what I mean? Like on a product that we have a basically what a 400% profit margin on. Like we can afford to do that all day on the on it. And how do we know that nobody else is advertising? Well, there's a few because you can go through and see who they are and see what they're doing. But I mean, there's not thousands of people competing for it, or the price would be through the roof for the ads. So you know that people aren't. It's very easy to see. And I mean, what I love about this too is that it's not like Google where you got to figure out what the keyword is that somebody's going to buy something for you, and you got to figure out all this stuff. Everybody on, I can't say everybody because we were on there today, not buying, but 99% of the people that are doing searches on Amazon are either other sellers trying to find out what other their competition's doing, or they're doing searches on Amazon because they're looking to buy that product. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. And if you do the things that we talked about, run these ads, make your listing better than your competition's by writing some real sales copy, by putting in some of the stuff, by adding in some urgency or some scarcity or some of the things that we talked about in module 3, you're way ahead of the game. Your competition isn't doing this. And I mean, this is the best access to paid traffic, the most profitable paid traffic that I've seen. And so grab your keywords, do that research, throw it in there, and make it happen. And so, of course, we're going to leave you with a challenge because we want to make sure that you guys get all of this stuff done. So today's challenge is over at the members area at dropshipceo.com/members. And again, just 4 things. So what time and date will your first ad campaign be live? Again, if you need to put it in the future, put it in the future, but just make sure you put it down there so that you get that done. What time and date will you have your ranking keyword research complete? So in order to do that, you need to let your ad run for a while so you can figure out which keyword you want to rank for, right? The ad has to run for a little bit. And then what 3 people are you going to ask to purchase your product? You don't have to put their names, but put their initials so that you know I'm going to go ask this person if they're interested in buying my product. And if you have to, go over and walk them through doing the search, find the product, find your ad, buy it for you so that it helps you get up in those rankings. And then what time and date will your first batch of feedback requests be sent out? Okay? So pretty easy stuff, but if you do these things, you are way ahead of the game. So I'm going to log in here as well and do our challenge. So make sure that you guys do this because I know we talked about a lot of stuff today, but if you've been keeping up, it's all ready to go and cool. I had a feeling this was going to be done. So we've got this cool little thing here for your feedback requests. You can put in your company name. You can click on copy to clipboard, grab that out of there. But here's your challenge. So we're going to, oops, got that still up there. We're going to go ahead and grab this information. Go to copy. There we go. We'll paste this in. And what time and date will our campaign be live? We've got that. So we'll say March 19th at 5 p.m. Eastern. What time will our ranking research be done? Same time, March 19th at 5 p.m. Eastern. 3 people to purchase our product. All right, I'm going to say H M and that one, and then what time and date will our first batch of feedback be sent? We have already done that. So cool. Fill out that challenge, get it done, and get caught up because coming up next we have the Q&A call where we're going to answer all of the questions that you guys have, and we're going to show you some even more cool stuff that you can do selling on Amazon. So thank you all very much. Fill out that challenge, and we will see you in the Q&A session.